I'm going to show you how to turn this blank Notion page into a fully functional nutrition coaching and practice management dashboard. Right, here we go. This is a blank Notion page. Welcome Alfie. You start it with an empty page and an icon. We'll put a little smiley face there because it's nice. And we'll start with a call out. Now this is going to act as my daily task reminder. And I'm going to put something in there that reminds me what I want to do today. And today I want to make a Notion dashboard. Up next, I'm going to be putting in a few of the side panels of the dashboard. So we're going to have our tasks in there. So that is today's task. We're going to then make this page full width, and we're going to work on next some of the side aspects of the dashboard. So a lot of people like to have habits on their dashboard. I definitely do. So I'm going to put in a few habits on the left hand side here using the to-do list function on Notion. Up next, I'm going to have a little bit of a to-do list as well, using the exact same function. Write today's tasks on there and a little bit more detail rather than just the one task at the top, which will be your primary task for the day. Make some Notion templates, do some client check-ins, read some papers. We're then going to have a little side view of the calendar on the side, which I'll put in later. And I'm just moving a quote over to the right hand side here because when I put in the main gallery bit, it's a bit of a fiddle and it won't go to the right hand side. So I'm just putting that quote in there as a space saver first so that I can put a database in next to the habits and the to-do list. So this is a database. I'm going to change the view to a gallery as it gives a nicer aesthetic appearance, and you can see all of the pages inside of the database first. Then I'm going to add in widgets to the right hand side of this dashboard as well. Drag that over to the right hand side. I'll come back to them later. I use a website called Indify to make the widgets. And this is the main gallery database of the dashboard. You can have all of your individual components of the dashboard in this database. So this is where your client notes, your client details database, your dietary reports, ISAC reports, content libraries will all be placed in that database there. Then I use a little divider just to break up the main screen of the dashboard, and we'll be putting in a calendar here underneath the main dashboard. When you put in a calendar, you put in any database, it starts as a table view, and you can just change that view to either a calendar, a list, gallery, timeline, or a board. Calendar view is obviously most appropriate for a calendar. On my main Notion Nutrition Brain dashboard. Then we want to just tidy it up a little bit and move the habits back up because they've been dislodged because I've moved a database into the middle. This won't take you too long, nice and easy to move. It's a little bit fiddly, some of this, but once it's done and it's all in place. We'll then delete that quote as well at the top, which will free up some space, and add in a little calendar view to the side. Now you can add a linked view of a database, so I'm going to link the calendar which I inserted below. So that is the exact same calendar as you can see below, but when you enter it in like this, it doesn't look too good. So you can actually edit that into a slightly different view. Now that is just a copied linked view of the calendar down below. We're going to change this to a timeline so that it fits in with the dashboard aesthetic a little bit better. I'm also going to hide the title of the calendar as well, just to give it a slightly better look. You won't be able to see the button there until you expand it a little bit. Hide the title, drag it back, and now any dates that come up in the calendar will also be shown on the timeline view on the dashboard as well. This is slightly optimized for iPads and iPhones as well. Just deleting that quote as well, moving up the gallery a little bit and saving some space. So that is the first bit of the dashboard complete. Now we go into Canva to make some nice headers for the template. This is more just to make it look nice. The nicer something looks, the easier it will be to use, or the more likely you'll be to use it. So we're going to change the cover of the header first. Go into your Canva designs and find the online coaching dashboard one. Load that up and then reposition it slightly so that it's slightly below where it originally sets out as, so you can get more of a view of the actual dashboard itself. Then we're going to build out the gallery database. I'm going to start with a client database. You can customize this however you want, but I'll just show you how to do one, and then I'll skip through all of the 6 because you don't need to watch me upload thumbnails and stuff. So you can add a text into it. So hello, you can see actually here that it previews the hello text there, and you can change this in the layout so that it actually displays the cover of the database first. And this gives you the starting point of a really nice looking dashboard. Add a little emoji in as well to make this look better. And then I'm going to show you as well just how to add in a database which can act as your client database in here. You can also turn this into a full page database as well if you want, but I prefer the inline view. And this is just a little walkthrough of how you would add in client details. I'm going to add in Boris today and make sure I give him an appropriate tag. Scruffy twat. So that's your client database inputted, and I'll just do the rest for you now. I'll do 6 for you just to make it look a little bit better. So you can have Cpd Notes, reflective practice, content library, recipe areas, and Isaac reports all built into this little dashboard. There's some very useful features of Notion that you can use. You can zoom in and out to change the view. You can add more databases, of course, if you want to. And you can turn the client database into an inline database as well, so you can have a quick look at it straight away. Make the page full width, which improves the appearance of the database. Notion also lets you edit the way that you view the way that the gallery database pops up in your screen, so you can either have a peak view or a side view. This is basically personal preference, and you can change each one individually, or you can go into the settings of the layout of the actual database itself, and you can change how the page opens with either side peek or a preview for the whole database, so you don't have to go in and change each one individually. So as you can see, we've got Cpd Notes, reflective practice, recipe area. We've not actually built the pages inside these yet, but we're just focusing on the dashboard at this point. Next, we're going to do some widgets. You go to a website called indify.co. I'm going to pick quotes as my first widget that I'm going to use. There's loads of widgets on there that you can use for free. It's just nice to have some quotes along the side of this dashboard. You copy a link basically, go back into Notion, paste the link and embed it, and that will pop up with your quotes in your dashboard. I'm going to get rid of that widgets bit there because it looks rubbish. Then I'm going to go back into Indify again, and I think we'll have a clock as well this time. So click on the clock widget, make that as Alfie's clock, copy that link. You can change all of the colors and the sizes, and you can turn it into a digital clock as well if you want to. Very customizable. Pop that in underneath the quotes, create embed, and there we have the start of an online coaching dashboard. Zoom in and out to make it look better and optimize it for your screen. You can turn it into dark mode as well, which I think looks a little bit better. And so this is the very, very basic look at the dashboard. And now I'm going to show you how my actual dashboard looks, my nutrition brain, which has been developed out a little bit more, and I've put a lot more effort into it than this very basic template there. So that's a very basic template, you know how to do that. This is the nutrition brain. So there are some notes, some habits, a calendar view, to-do lists. You can change the color behind the text to make it look good. I've got some custom headers that I designed in Canva to make it look really nice. Looks very clean, dietary analysis, habit trackers, client databases. You can have a look at people's dietary reports very easily. You can switch between the panels very quickly. You can flick through your recipe area if you want to, flick straight to your content library as well. This is really useful for nutritionists who want to put new ideas into one central place, helping you capture all of that. And because it's on your dashboard, it's really easy to find. Calendar as well, this syncs up with your Gmail. Consultancy Notes, this is an absolute lifesaver because you can spotlight search and find little words, and you can find keywords from anything, and it can sometimes bring up your consultancy notes organized in a really nice place. And you can also have this on your phone and tablet, so consultancy notes can be taken whenever with whatever device you've got on you. Social media is also a nice database to have. You can use the Notion web clipper function. Say if you find a really nice YouTube channel or a really useful YouTube channel, you can save it straight into your interesting tweets database, which I've got mine named on my nutrition brain, but you can name it something else. With one click, you can add Alfie's YouTube right into your database, open Notion back up, and there it will be in your social media database with a link to it. Super easy way of capturing anything that you see on the internet which you like. Really useful function, basically transformed my life. I don't really lose stuff anymore. Reflective practice, this is a fantastic function as well. You can create templates, which means every time you open up a blank reflective practice thing, you can have key questions that are already there in the document that all you have to do is just answer. What happened? What did I experience? How did I feel about it? What did I learn? What will I do differently next time? This just reduces all of the friction to reflective practice, which so many people struggle with. I don't know why you wouldn't use a system like this. Isaac reporting as well. You can have custom Isaac reports. You can even build in all of the spiel that you want to tell people as well. You don't have to bombard them with information, but because this is so customizable and it exports to a PDF really quickly, you can send these off super quick, especially if you use a tool like Alfred, which is just going to pop up on the screen now, a spotlight search technology thing. I don't know how to explain Alfred. It's like a productivity tool, but as you can see, it brings up the download with like a click of the button rather than having to manually use your mouse and go through your Finder and find stuff. So that's Isaac reports. Client onboarding, macro calculators. You can embed your Google Drive calculator if you use one of them, or you can just embed a link to it in a Notion page. Cpd Notes works in a similar way to any other notes. Dietary analysis databases, you can link them to clients. If you want to do custom dietary analysis reports, you can put things like training plans in there as well. For nutritionists, online coaches, wellness coaches, health coaches, it is absolutely fantastic software to use. It's so easy to access everything. There's nothing hidden in folders. It's really easy to find. And for evidence-based practitioners, you can have a big old reading list in here. Now, this is something I use with my PhD. I have a ginormous paper database, which I one-click save into this database. I then have it set up so that you can have the title, the authors, a tag to say if you've read it or not. You can organize your papers by topics, scoping search. You can have like a little checkbox to say neat notes, if you've written the neat notes or not. You can categorize it by journals. You can categorize it by research questions. So if you've got research question 1, 2, 3, you can have a one-line summary of the paper in there as well, and you can have a link to the paper as well. It really is a fantastic way of organizing your notes on papers. You can also have a separate view of that database where it just looks at textbooks, and you can have another synced view of that database which looks at your reading list. So as you can see on here, we have to read highlighted on some of these papers, and that database at the bottom just highlights all of those papers which have been tagged as to read. Now, this is my PhD dashboard. It's an absolute lifesaver, to be honest, because it allows me to organize all of my PhD stuff in one central place, and I can access it via my own computers, the computers at the university, on my phone whenever I need it. Spotlight search will find things for me. Super useful. I would definitely recommend using it if you're a PhD student. Very quick access to all of my own thoughts and feelings on papers. And actually I use it for just general note taking as well and learning topics. So this isn't my mind map, but I have embedded it into a Notion document. And the best function for note taking in Notion is these toggle headings. So you can basically ask yourself questions and then put the answers to the questions down below in that toggle heading, so you can test yourself before you try and read up on all of your notes. Memory decays. You need to do active recall if you're actually going to learn something. Just rereading anything is not useful. Having your notes on key topics in this system is absolutely vital for you actually remembering things, and it's something which is going to be fundamental to me remembering a lot of information that I need to remember for my PhD. And you can also set this up if you're a nutrition coach to memorize new topics as well, and to develop yourself as a practitioner. Because at the end of the day, nutrition coaches, dietitians, wellness coaches, we're all knowledge workers at the end of the day. You need to get that knowledge into your brain somehow, and this is the most effective way to do that. I've got a load of topics in here as well which are very useful. So that is the nutrition brain. You can have a few other things in here. One of the best functions that I have used Notion for is this second brain Zettelkasten. I don't know how to say it. It's some sort of note take. I watched a YouTube video on it. I didn't think too much about it. I just did it, and it's unbelievable. You can use the one-click function to bring in anything you see into a database. Here's a very basic one for nutritionists. I've got a better example really for my PhD, which I'll show you in a second, but it centers around taking all of this information, linking it together into topics, and putting together pieces of information you might not have linked together. So I will show you how I use this for my PhD. We have a draft section, a really filled out version where I have loads of things that I've found on the internet that I want to organize into different categories. And then to make sense of this, we put it into a massive database which can also link up to my other databases as well of papers. So I'm trying to learn about the endothelium at the moment. I've got one big topic of endothelium. I've then got all of my articles, textbooks and other resources, YouTube videos, things I've seen on the internet, tweets, all in one row in a table, which if I need to put together a resource on the endothelium is a doddle, because I've got it all in one place and I can just quickly access all of this information. Super useful. Do that with every nutrition topic you can think of and you will be unbelievably clever practitioner. So back to the dashboard. You can easily make this into something as good as this, and you've got a few other things on the front of the dashboard as well that I like to use. Check-in trackers, key dates. You can add things into the calendar and that will pop up into the key dates. So if you have lots of things in there, you can start to highlight things in that one synced view. Another really useful function if you just got some key dates that you really want to focus on rather than just the general noise of your calendar. And that is my nutrition brain in Notion. So there's a fully functional nutrition coaching dashboard for you there. My nutrition brain will be down below if you value your time and you want to just copy it. I know nutritionists are usually very busy. The download is a PDF, there's a link to it. It will open in your browser and you can duplicate the template. Save yourself some time. By the way, if you get good at building Notion templates, you can actually start to make money from selling Notion templates yourself. If you build a nice one, you can sell them to your own audience. But if you're like me and you don't have your own audience, you're going to want to use an open marketplace like Etsy. Etsy use their marketing budget to bring new eyeballs to your templates every day. Even better, if you're a nutritionist or a dietitian watching this, you've probably got loads of content on your laptop right now. I repurposed all of my nutrition content on my laptop into a 34-page brandable Canva template. I listed it on Etsy and it's brought me in over £2.6 thousand in my sleep. So around $3,000 in my sleep. I haven't touched it since. I literally just listed it on Etsy. So if you can see the value in some of the content that you've got on your laptop right now, maybe you've written some blogs, maybe you've got some seminars, maybe you've got some tweets, maybe you've got some group coaching posts. All of this can be packaged into a digital product. Let me show you how in a free training down below in the description, which walks you through how I come up with ideas for products like this one here. And I'll even be walking you through how I create that product and list it on Etsy properly, because Etsy SEO search engine optimization is the most important thing to get your product seen. Without this, you won't make any sales in your sleep. If you're new to this and you actually want to give this a go, I'd definitely suggest checking out that free training in the link in the description. And if you want to find out more about selling Notion templates, you're going to need to watch this video here.